A thick cloud of Saharan dust is blanketing the Caribbean as it makes its 5,000 miles drift across the Atlantic to the United States. While this natural phenomenon is not unusual, the size and concentration of this year's dust plume is one that hasn't been seen in half a century. The dust cloud is so thick that it covers the African coastline on satellite imagery.
It is a very dry, dusty and warm layer of air that originates over the Sahara Desert in Africa. And when you have outbreaks of sandstorms and dust storms, it gets picked up in the atmosphere and transported across the Atlantic on what we call the African easterly jet. That's a very narrow channel of fast-moving winds in the mid-level of the troposphere, which is about 1 mile above the surface of the Earth. And that dust gets transported across the Atlantic and into the Caribbean, and eventually all the way to Central America, even the southern United States at times.
In Belize, instead of the typical blue sky, viewers are reporting milky, hazy skies. These are images sent to News 5 from across the country. This is the view in Punta Gorda. In Corozal town, the air is dry and the sky is hazy. And this is a bird's eye view of Belmopan.
Well, for us, it typically creates a very milky-looking sky, hazy-looking skies. Visibility is hindered. You're not able to see very far. It is high when it is transported, but eventually the dust eventually comes down, and that's why you see the hazy conditions even near the surface, no? Okay. So it's not suspended all the time. It eventually comes down to the near the surface.
Caribbean islands are reporting dangerous conditions as the air quality across the region fell to hazardous level. The dust plume can also have health effects. A Danguga resident reports feeling unwell. Michael Fisher says that he was on the 3rd floor of a building when he suddenly fell ill.
I started to feel the air totally getting drier and heavy, unable to breathe, and then the burning sensation in my face. And the only way I could have relieved myself was to go upstairs and go into the bathroom. I must mention that I was about 3 stories off the ground itself. So I went inside and I soaked my eyes, my face, my nostrils as well. Came to that point whereby you found difficulty in breathing. It was like a wheezing way of getting some air. So I went inside and automatically, right away, the air inside was much thinner and I started to breathe a little bit. But yes, it does have effect on people with respiratory conditions, asthmatic people, and there's also reports that it might irritate the skin. What I know when I was in Barbados, there were reports of it having effects on people's skin and that type of thing, no?
The silver lining to this dust blanket is that the dry and dusty layer of air can suppress storms.
Anecdotally, it has been seen that whenever you have a strong outbreak of the Saharan air layer phenomena, it tends to suppress tropical storm formation. And some of the reasons why we believe that happens is because, one, it is a very dry air layer, so hurricanes typically need a lot of moisture in order to form and intensify. Another reason is because it creates a stable air mass. By that I mean that you have warmer air over cooler surfaces, and that tends to create what we call stability. Thunderstorms are not able to go in depth, and hurricanes are not able to form. A third factor in which the Saharan air layer affects hurricane formation is by providing what we call strong vertical wind shear. That occurs when you have winds at higher level of the atmosphere faster than the ones at the lower levels, so it tends to tear the storms apart. So all these 3 factors tend to suppress hurricane activity whenever you have a strong outbreak of the Saharan air layer.
It is expected that in a week's time, if wind conditions remain the same, the Saharan dust will pass over Belize with intensity over the cloud increasing in the next few days. Reporting for News 5, Hipolito, Novelo.